Hello, welcome to Learn, Do, Become Radio. I am your friend, April Perry, and I'm so glad that you're here with us. Here at Learn, Do, Become, we help people who are overwhelmed by the details of life to create simple systems so they can do what matters most. I want you to get totally out of overwhelm, and I want you to wake up excited and go to bed content. And a lot of what we talk about here is about organization. We have a specific system we teach called the STEP Command Central. STEP stands for Steps to Everyday Productivity. But today we're diving into the big lie about our long lists. And the reason this is important is because if you find that you typically have a really, really long list, but some of it's written down and some of it's in your head and it just gets longer and it never gets done, it's probably because you're believing this biggest lie. And so we're going to dive into that today. And just in case you're like, please just tell me what the lie is. The lie is a long list means I get more things done. Okay, so we'll go into that and I want to help you dispel that myth and really find out how you can adjust your expectations and actually end up getting more things done that you want to get done, but also just have more time to think and read and be present and relax. Okay, so that's the goal. I found that we have literally thousands of testimonials that are coming in from our system and what we do here at Learn to Become. And I've been kind of storing them in this folder in my email as I get them from our team member, Candace, who's been doing a great job like collecting them and putting them all in order for us. So I thought it might be fun just to start each podcast with a couple of testimonials. I might not do it on every episode, but for today, I'm going to start with a couple of awesome stories to highlight our community members. And then I'm also going to close up with a couple of fun highlights because I love to show you how this works in the lives of your peers and how good it can feel. Okay, so the first one I'm just going to share is from Olga. She went from like, woe is me to wow, me. And I want to share how she did it. She said, okay, signs that my STEP Command Central is finally working beautifully. Number 1, I'm accomplishing my 7 to 8 projects for each month easily and without getting overwhelmed. Okay, that's just amazing right there. Number 2, I ran a yard sale, and instead of being stuck with a lot of unsold items and feeling defeated, I already brought most of them to a donation center or found a family to pass them along to, and it's only been a week since the time. Number 3, I already planted 60 out of 75 flower bulbs I bought at my boys' fundraiser. 10 to 20 bulbs at a time per day. Again, only a week since I started this project, and I don't feel burned out or tired. Number 4, I now know what to do with all the information in our kids' school's Dean's newsletter. I look through it during a weekly review and I make notes in my calendar or put info on my actions list or projects list or wherever that information belongs. Number 5, I have routines set up for listening to different favorite podcasts, reading books, and working on workshops or courses I signed up for. I still miss some appointment reminders or make mistakes, but I no longer spiral into woe me mood anymore, or at least not as quickly. Woe me is now turning into wow me more often than ever before. My inbox is full of random things again, but I now know that I will soon process all of these pieces again, and my mind will feel calm and peace throughout the process. Literally, that just brings tears to my eyes. I love it. So way to go, Olga. Thank you for sharing that. This next one is from Amanda. She says, I just want to share something that might be helpful for others. I started this program about 4 years ago. I never actually went through all the modules because I'm a perfectionist and felt like I had to have everything perfect before I could move to the next one. I just started cobbling together the ideas I picked up while listening to some podcasts, looking through some of the papers that show how to process, how to do weekly review, etc. And it works. I'm not doing the system perfectly, and my life organization is not perfect, and I still have some clutter, but life is much more organized, and I have better mental clarity about my routines and projects. It works for me. Don't let perfectionism keep you from just taking one more step, no pun intended, right, to better organize your life. It doesn't have to be perfect to work. And I hope that you're getting that sense from Olga and from Amanda. They are moving forward, even though, there might be some stuff that's not exactly how they might want it to be. It might still be a little messy. You might miss a thing here and there, but it works. Okay, so thank you to both of you. All right, let's dive into that biggest lie about our long list. So I feel this just sense of duty to help people who feel overwhelmed by their long list to know there's a different way to get things done that just doesn't feel as overwhelming. And I know when you think about this big lie where it says a long list means I get more things done, you may be tempted to say, April, that's not a lie. That's true. If I make a really long list, then I do more. Okay, so first of all, if that long list is working for you, awesome. I am not trying to stop you from anything that is working well for you. But what most people experience is they have a very long list. They end up procrastinating a lot of it because it feels heavy. Then they have like a flurry of activity towards the end and try to get a whole bunch of things done. But there's stress while they're procrastinating, and there's stress while they're doing it. And that ends up creating a very stressed life when you could just break it down and change the way you do it and just move steadily at the beginning and get it done without procrastinating, and then have a lot of time left over and just relax and enjoy your life. So that's my perspective. And if you like that perspective, let's keep going. A message I often get is, I love the idea of a small list, but if I don't make more headway on my tasks each week, they will get backlogged, and either there will be consequences or I will be overwhelmed the following week, or both. Now, here's why that perspective is actually really great. It acknowledges that a small list would feel better when people say like, oh, I love this idea. I want a small list. But it shows that this person is realistic and recognizes the pace required to keep up with their life. Because it'd be ridiculous if you know you have a ton of stuff going on and then you're like, I'm going to pick 5 things to do this week, and you have 40 that you have to do, that you're not going to feel great or relaxed at all because now you're missing things, right? Also, it shows that this person is responsible and careful. And that's typically who we serve here the best at Learn to Become, are the people who actually care about getting things done. Because the people who don't care, who are like, whatever, I'll just leave everything, a mess. I won't do what I say I'll do. I'll leave everyone hanging. Big deal. They're usually not the ones trying to get organized, right? They're just fine with how they're doing things, which that's up to each person. I like to be responsible. I like to know people can trust me, and I like to know I can trust myself. And I like to be actively engaged in living my life, okay? So let's go back to that big lie. If my list is long, I will get more things done, or I'll get all the things done I need to do. Now, we know that this is a lie because how many times have we actually finished a super long list consistently? And I'm not talking about that one big burst at the end of a period of procrastination. But the thing is, we keep making long lists over and over and over again. And this is how I lived for, I started really making lists in high school. But then that went on until I was a mother. I remember when Aaliyah was 4, so we had 3 children really quick, and then Spencer came a few years later. So I had Aaliyah, Grace, and Ethan, 3 kids under the age of 4. And I remember sitting down at our dining room table, and the kids were all asleep, and I was like, okay, I've got to just clear my mind. I'm so stressed. I made this really long list of everything that was in my head. But then I kind of looked at the list. I'm like, well, what do I do with it now? So then I just kind of started trying to check it off when I could. I was trying to carry it with me. I was trying to transfer it to my planner. I kind of kept looking at it. I'd highlight things. It was just this long list. And I just remember feeling stressed constantly because I was trying to put on her birthday party. We were getting ready to move. I needed to find a new apartment. We had doctor appointments. I had to get medical records, all these things that I couldn't just stop doing. And I was still feeding and nurturing and taking care of all these children. And I was doing some volunteer work too. So I'm like, okay, I am going crazy. I remember that feeling. So we know it's a lie. So the thing is, I know that you right now, you have a lot on your plate. And you may feel like it rests on your shoulders. And if you slow down, you'll let people down. And that could be true. There might be a lot that does rest on your shoulders, and you may let people down. But I want to walk you through this process of lightening your load. You can still do great things with the help of your higher power and while still making time for self-care and your family. But it does not depend on a long list. So first, let's look at our beliefs about a short list. Because in order to break that habit of having a long list, we need to feel good about a short list. So here's what people often believe. If my list is short, it means I am ignoring important things It means I'll stop once I get done and I'll forget everything else that didn't make the list. And it means I'm living below my level of energy and responsibilities. So it's kind of like a short list is for slackers. It's a cop-out. It's like a waste of my life or something like that. Okay, but those are all false because what we're actually doing when we create a short list is selecting the highest priority items from the long list and giving ourselves space to get them done. You can even give yourself a deadline for your short list if you like. So, all the stuff that's waiting can still get done. But what we do is when we're prioritizing what's most important, then we take everything else and it's just waiting on the sidelines. It's safely stored, not to be forgotten. Now, here's what happens when we work from a short list. We build momentum because it feels easy. We'll move to the next highest priority items once we finish that short list because they're not lost, they're just waiting. And we'll ultimately get more done with less effort because we're in that flow of productivity. That's what I was loving from what Olga shared, the testimonial I shared at the beginning, where she's in this flow. She's just getting projects done and they're not feeling stressful and overwhelming. And that's what I want you to feel is like, oh, I just kind of keep things clean and I just do the things I need to do and my messages are managed and my lists just kind of get checked off every day without that big of a deal. It's just feeling so simple. And it's that kind of flow that has changed my life. So then when I do have a down day or something, it's fine. I just go lay down and take a break. And then when I'm feeling good, I just get up and start doing it again. It's just fine. Okay. And so when you look around and watch how most people work, it's that procrastination and then a flurry of activity. And that can sometimes still be effective to get lists completed. But again, it's like that stress that we're feeling. We feel some kind of mental strain while we're procrastinating and while we're finally doing all the stuff that we delayed. But if we get right to work, because there's no need to procrastinate because things don't feel hard, it's just like this small list, and we steadily complete small groups of tasks until we're done, then we have time left over. And I love resting and reading and replenishing. Or you can potentially just move forward on some other things that you're excited about. I love feeling excited about things and then doing them. That's awesome. It's great. I like to invest in my marriage. I like to invest in our children. I like to invest in our community. I like to have bandwidth. So if I think of something kind that I could do, or a donation we could make, or something we could, create, I actually can do it. And I'm not just thinking, oh, maybe someday I'll have my act together. I don't need to think like that. I don't have my act together every single day. I have down days, but I'm able to move forward on the days I feel good. Okay, so at this point, you might be thinking, okay, April, how do I actually do it? Show me a list. Okay, so I put together 7 little steps, and they're actually quite short, but I'm just going to kind of zip through them. And they're on the show notes page if you want to read them. Okay. So step 1, just make your list of the things you actually have to do in the next few weeks. Kind of like I did back when Aaliyah was a little girl. I was telling you about that big long list. But these aren't someday items or wish list items. These are things that you truly need to do. So I just put together a little sample exercise. Dentist on the 4th at 3 p.m. Update the sales page at work. Vitamins daily. Blood work. Learn software for accounting. Fix the faucet. Return a package Thursday. Garden cleaned up. Trip to Oregon planned. Birthday gifts for my son. Laundry, and attend the conference for work. Okay, now you might have 100 items. You might have way more than that. I'm just giving you an example. Okay, so those are the kinds of things that you might need to do. I did get a comment from someone. I put this list on YouTube and someone was like, but you still have all this stuff to do. Can we just get rid of all the stuff? I'm like, okay, well, yeah, you could get rid of it. You could not exercise if you don't want to. You could never go to the dentist if you don't want to. You could not move forward in your business or take care of your body or learn anything new or fix anything that's broken. You could never go anywhere. Yeah, you don't have to do any of this. But I'm assuming that this is for people who want to be engaged appropriately in a happy life that involves service and growth and other people. Okay. All right. So once you've made your list, then step 2, add any one-time calendar specific tasks or appointments to your calendar. Okay, so things like I have the dentist appointment and I have a work conference, or I need to return that package on Thursday, whether it's an appointment or a specific like checklist item. You can just put anything calendar specific on the calendar. Then as long as you trust yourself to check your calendar every day, those are just covered. They don't need to be on this list you look at all the time. Okay, so then once you're finished with the calendaring, now we go to step 3. For anything that's a routine, meaning it needs to be done over and over again, you add it to a routines list. That's what I like to organize by daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, and yearly. And you can either post it or create it digitally as long as you see it regularly. But this is where you'd put things like your exercise, your daily vitamins, and your laundry. So getting those routines off your list and onto a routines list. And we've talked before about how establishing a routine is a project. And if things are in routine mode, but you're forgetting to do them, you could make like calendar reminders or something to help you get into a habit. Right now, most of my routines are just on autopilot. And then if I'm trying to establish a new one, like I'm going to be trying to get up earlier in the morning and going to bed earlier at night. So that might be a project, or I might set alarms or something like that to help me. So once you're finished doing that, you've made the list, done the calendar stuff, put things on the routines list. Now you should be left with projects or next actions. So step 4. For your projects, I recommend you select between 1 and 8 for the month to go on your current projects list, which you'll then post somewhere obvious or keep it digitally somewhere that will be visible throughout your workday. I love to just be checking out my current projects list, making sure I'm not working on some project that's like a someday thing. Like, do what's on my current list, and when those are done, I can add more. I don't want to get distracted, and I keep it very focused. The number of projects that you choose is determined by how big the projects are and how much time you have to actually do them. And I suggest that you err on the low end. So if you're thinking, oh, I want to do 8 projects. Well, if you just have a ton of stuff going on and 2 of those projects are enormous, maybe just 2 projects right now, and then you just focus on that. Now, step number 5, for any projects that don't currently fit on your current projects list, you create a next in line list. We've talked about the tiered projects list. So it's like current, next in line, someday. So I protect my current projects list, and putting things on next in line, I can't tell you how it just calms my brain, because I'm not trying to do 50 things at the same time. I'm just focusing on a few. I think right now I have like 5 projects for the month. They're all really doable. I feel fine. Okay. So putting those on your next in line list, and if you start to panic and you think, I can't put them on a next in line list because I have to get this done by a certain date, then add a calendar reminder for when you must begin working on it. And then you just know it's safe. And at that point, if you haven't finished your current ones, but you're like, I got to start this one, well, then you have to decide, do I move one of my current projects into next in line so I can move this one up? Do I delegate? What do I do? Because the worst thing I feel like I do to myself is say, April, you have to do a million things and you have no energy or time to do it. Ha ha ha. Right? Like, that's so bad. That's such a mean way to talk to ourselves, but we do it all the time. Most people do that all the time and don't even realize it. All right, step number 6 is populate your next actions list. We talk about that all the time here. It's a weekly list organized by where you are when you're getting the list done. So David Allen recommends home, computer, errands, phone, and to discuss. David Allen's author of the book Getting Things Done, which is huge inspiration, and he's amazing. So once you get your next actions list created, I suggest that you write about 1/3 of the number of tasks you think you can do on the list. And I know it feels weird, but just please trust me, because what happens is we see this happening all the time in our community. People get really excited and then they put 47 next actions on their list for the week, and they're not going to get them all done. And then they just rewrite them the next week, or they don't even look at it. And they're like, this list does not work. And I'm like, can you show me your list? Like, take a picture of it and can you post it? And then sometimes they're like, oh, actually it has like 50 things on it. And then you say, okay, how about we decrease the number of things you expect of yourself? And how does that feel? And so if you think, oh, I could probably do 15 things this week. Okay, how about just put 5 on there for now, and the rest can go at step number 7, all additional next actions that you can't do this week or you don't want to throw on your list to begin with. You have a little next in line list. And you could even create a little calendar reminder to look at that in a few days and see how things are going. So it's not that we're taking the things off of our list and saying, oh, I'm just going to do less, although you could and you might need to. But we're taking what's on our long list and we're saying, what's the highest priority? Let's just focus on those and let's put everything else in a safe place so we can just focus on a few things and not stress ourselves out. Okay, so those are the 7 steps. And the thing is, I know from personal experience how satisfying it is to make a really long list and then give ourselves a ton of stuff to do, because it often feels really good. Like as you're writing the list, you think, look how responsible I am. Look at all these things I'm going to do. Like I really matter to people. I matter to myself. I'm really important. I don't know. There's these things that might be going on in your head, and maybe not. Maybe you're like, I don't even know what you're talking about. But it can feel very satisfying to write everything out and feel that relief, like it's out of my brain. But I also know from many painful personal experiences that when we do that over and over again, and we perpetuate the lie that a long list means we get more done, we end up feeling overwhelmed and frustrated and sick. And we won't sleep well, and we'll feel cranky when things get in our way, and we'll feel really down about ourselves. And the thing is, it isn't easy to lighten our lists. What I'm talking about right now, if you haven't done it before, it might feel incredibly counterintuitive, and you might be like angry at me as you're working on it. And you're like, why are you making me shorten this list? This is all really important and very stressful, and I have so much to do. Okay, but I'll just share an experience I had a couple of weeks ago. I did have too many expectations for myself, and I didn't even realize it was a problem until I was meeting with a doctor about my energy. I was like, I don't know why I'm tired. My doctor's like, your labs look amazing. You're doing great. Tell me about your life. I'm like, my life is great. I don't feel stressed. I'm like, I don't have stress rashes. I'm doing great. But then I was talking about some things I was thinking about and working on. And he said, he's like, I will just tell you that I think that you are really hard on yourself and you're putting a lot of pressure on yourself. And as soon as he said it, I just started crying. I thought, you know what? You're right. I am putting pressure on myself. And I didn't even realize it until he told me. So I was really quiet for the next couple of days. And Eric was like, are you okay? Yeah, I'm just letting it all sink in and I'm figuring it out. So I went through and I lightened my load to the point that I've said before on the podcast. You lighten your load to the point you think, what on earth? What are you even doing? Like, this is so easy. You'd be embarrassed if anyone saw your list because there's nothing on it. Like I did that. And then my body responded, and I just can't even explain what a gift that is. I have ups and downs for sure, just like you do. And sometimes I can do a lot, and I have a capacity to work on a lot of things. And sometimes my capacity feels like it's just gone out the window, and I'm thinking, what on earth? But my goal is that through the ups and downs, we can work appropriately. David Allen says you want to be appropriately engaged with your life. And especially for women with our hormone cycles and the fact that we're often in very important support roles, I think it's critical for us to be able to know how to adjust our expectations and our lists, kind of like you're riding the waves of life. Because otherwise, if you have all these things that you think you should do every single day, and then you feel like a loser if you don't get them done, you're going to just be stressed and overwhelmed. So if you're thinking, well, okay, what's my homework? Then your next step would be go through the process I outlined here. Go to our show notes page if you want to just read through the 7 steps. But then please let me know how it goes, or if you have any additional questions. I love getting comments, and I love when the community comments back and forth with each other and helps each other. So I would love to hear how your experience is, or if you have any other ideas that have helped you lighten your load, shorten your list, keep your expectations really healthy. It would be amazing. Okay, we're going to close up with a couple of additional fun stories from our community. This one we did put in our newsletter that we send out. And if you're not on that, please go to learndobecome.com/inspiration. We send a weekly email with stories and pictures and free links and resources and things like that for you. So we would love to have you part of that. So this is from Erin, and she has this photo of a little girl's bike in a shopping cart. And here's what she said. "You guys, a win! One of my daughters is 7, and I have been meaning to take the training wheels off of her bike for a year and a half. Each time I've tried, I've gotten completely overwhelmed because A, I couldn't figure out how, and B, once I did figure out that I needed tools, I couldn't find any that I know I have somewhere to take them off. Well, I brainstormed what could be an actual next action since, quote, finding tools in the garage clearly isn't going to happen soon enough. So I loaded the bike in the trunk and I went to a bike store. They were closed. I felt overwhelmed and sad. I breathed and thought about what could be the actual next step. I drove to Walmart and I put the bike in the cart and brought it into the store. As I was asking 2 super kind employees if they might be able to help me figure out which tools to buy, one of them realized that I didn't even need tools. He showed me how to do it and helped me get them off right then and there in the store. I am so grateful. I am grateful for other people's kindnesses. I'm grateful to this program for giving me the momentum to keep going and to keep breaking things down when I run into obstacles. I'm grateful for my own perseverance and dedication to this new way of thinking. I do not even have my command central fully built yet, and this is a new way of life for me. It's not about arriving. It is about shifting my mentality, appreciating the small wins, connecting over and over again to the things that really matter to me, remembering that things will get hard and overwhelming and it's all okay. Sometimes the waters are calm and sometimes they are choppy. We can do this. Okay, that brings chills. I feel chills all the way down my arms and legs. This just means so much. Thank you, Erin, for sharing this story. And then as I'm picturing Erin's daughter now being able to learn to ride a 2-wheeler, I learned to ride a 2-wheeler when I was 6 or 7, and now she has the bike and she can go do it. And now she's going to be learning new skills, and think how exciting that's going to be. But how many times do we totally miss that moment or totally miss out an experience just because we can't figure out that next step and it just feels too hard? So I love what Erin did. She boiled it down. And when that bike shop was closed, she's like, no, what else can I do? The bike's already in the car. Come on, we got to figure this out. It was so good. So way to go, Erin. And then a last one that I'll share from Gina. She said, I just completed 2 returns. This is huge. I hate, all caps, doing returns. I have lost thousands, over $10,000 in items I have needed to return and just never did. Okay, so this is big for Gina. But today I returned something from Amazon at Kohl's, and I went to Hollister and returned clothes. Huge win for me. When I was in Hollister, I had to firmly tell the store employee that I did not want store credit. I wanted my money back. Part of the issue was that I'd had to cancel my debit card after making the purchase due to fraudulent charges, not at Hollister, and the employee told me that a store credit may be my only option. I explained to him very politely that using my debit card for a purchase was like using cash, and I wanted my money back, not store credit. I was within the 30-day return period. This kind of interaction is part of the reason I hate returns in the first place. And then he asked me the reason for my return, and I told him sizing. He then proceeded to ask me if I wanted the dresses in the correct size, and I said no, I'd like my money back. Exhausting, but completed. Okay. Now, the reason I read the whole thing is because I feel like this whole thought process and the issue and the back and forth and all of that, I get it. It's like my dad, when we were growing up, no matter what a store charged him, they could charge him $50 over. He would not go back and ask for a refund. He just didn't want to deal with it. My mom, on the other hand, though, she was like, if they charge 50 cents more for the peanut butter, she's like, nope, sorry, peanut butter, you overcharged. Now I get it free. I mean, we had this special policy at our store. She came home with her 2 peanut butter jars, was so excited she got them free. So anyway, my mom and dad kind of balanced each other out that way. But for those of you who are thinking, oh, that's me, I don't like any confrontation, I don't like to have to discuss things, whatever. I love that Gina's showing us how she's like, you know what? I'm making changes because, that was $10,000, but that was a $10,000 lesson that she's learned. And yeah, it's hefty, But moving forward, you just know from how she's writing these things, she's going to be careful with her purchases. She's going to save the receipts. She's going to put a calendar reminder on there if she has a certain window. She's going to take the necessary steps to be able to do what she needs to do. So, and a little shout out to Hollister. I don't know that store, but shout out to them for helping her out. So thanks. All right. So I hope that as you listen today, you just started to realize, you know what? I can be really gentle with myself, and that includes how I make my lists. I don't need to live in overwhelm. Like the other day, Spencer and Grace both came into my office at different times. I have like a little loft area where I work, and there's a little carpet section where Sunny usually sits. And Grace came over first, and then Spencer came in like maybe an hour later. And whenever my kids come in, I just like to stop what I'm doing and sit on the floor, and we snuggle Sunny, and we just talk, and we hang out together. Those are some of my best memories that I am creating right now. And I love to just be present and to listen and to pay attention to what their needs are and what they want to talk about, and to laugh together and look at pictures of, our grandson and just have fun. And those things wouldn't be possible if my brain was just focused on my list like it used to be. I used to obsess about my list, and I missed what was happening right in front of me because I just needed to get everything done. And now I still try to get things done, and I'm still working on things, but the people come first. And I just want you to be able to feel that too, because a life with the people you love is so much better than a life with just a long list that's gotten checked off through a lot of stress. So I'm sending a ton of love to you. If you're brand new, we have a free training at learndobecome.com/step to help you learn how to finally stop drowning in piles, kind of get the basics of the current projects list and next actions. And we hope that you'll just be part of this community. Go check out our YouTube channel. Go check out our social media. You kind of find Learn, Do, Become everywhere online. And we just send our love. Okay, take care. We'll see you soon at learndobecome.com.